anything before, so I don't know how this
All
works.
right. Welcome to. Did I give the Elvis? Yes, I did. All right.
Yeah, it was
Welcome
me.
to the final Tribal Council of Survivor Open Ocean. It has been a long 43 days, but we
Oh,
have our
frozen.
final three, Karen, Pippa, and Ricky, who have all made it
Oh
through
shit!
the past.
Shut up,
It's
Cookie.
been a long time. They've been going for a while, and now they sit here in front of 2/5 of the jury, ready to plead their case as to why they should win.
Cookie, stop.
So we're gonna start with each of them just giving a brief opening statement as to why, just an overview of why they think they should win. Let's start with Karen. Please try and keep this very brief.
Fuck you for picking me first. Okay, hello, jury and um viewers. Okay, so I think I should win because I played the best game. Hello. Um, honestly, just ask me your questions. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. And hopefully through your questions or whatever, like I can explain why I should win. Because Monty said to keep it brief. So I'm not gonna go all the way off. Thank you.
All right, Pippa.
Hi. So I already said this, but I've never like been in anything like this, so I don't know how it works. So I think you should vote for me because I played an okay game. There was definitely better ones. Um, I played a game, and I'll explain to you why it's the best, even though I just said it was okay. Just ask me questions because then I'll know what's happening then. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and Ricky.
Okay, awesome. I just want to say thanks, Monty, for the shithole that you put us in. And I think that the jury should vote for me because my game was much more dynamic than the other two, and I had far more control over what happened and the outcome, and why I'm sitting here. Thank you.
All right. So, thank you, finalists. And now that that is out of the way, we are going to follow a format closer to the most recent seasons of Survivor. So, Game Changers and HHH, where it will be a more of a roundtable style final tribal council where we will focus on the three aspects of this game: outwit, outplay, and outlast. And each of the finalists will have a discussion with the jury or the jury members that are here as to why they believe that they are the best in each of the categories, or defend why they, and hopefully we'll get a good winner. So I will explain to them all as we get there. So outwit is, let me read this. Where was this? Outwit is the most what is the like social aspects of your game? How did you manipulate the other players? How did you get them to make your moves? So if anybody on the jury or a finalist wants to start somewhere, the floor is all yours.
Okay, well that's strategy. Outwit is 110% strategy. How is that not? Okay, whatever. Anyway, I wanted to start because I like talking. Anyway,
God, we know.
Okay.
We know, sis, we know.
Pippa, can you try to explain like your social game? I've heard from a lot of the jury that it didn't really have an impact on most people. Like you didn't. I understood. Like
Ricky?
No, Pippa.
Pippa. I was really about to go off.
I want to go off on Pippa. I'm trying to be a nice person, so please explain yourself.
Regan, I very much respect that because I think we both want to go off on each other, and let's just keep it civil. My social game. Okay, so just because I didn't talk to some people as more as I talked to others. Does that make sense? Is that a real sentence? Just because I talked to other people more than I did others doesn't mean that I didn't have a social game. So, for example, you and I, we didn't talk a lot, but that's because I knew that my social game, my bra was showing. My social game wasn't going to be as impactful on you and vice versa because we had already showed each other
Argued.
Wait, what?
Argued. Yeah, I get it. We
had
already
argued. So I get where you're coming from a standpoint. In other things, I am definitely more of a social player. That's just my strategy in every single game that I ever play. What?
I'm just going from what I heard the jury say.
No,
What did they say?
So,
if we want to go off of some of, if I can help Regan out with explaining, I think social game also had to do with like not the how frequently you talk to people, but how you went about talking to some people and the manner that you spoke to some people. Some people thought you were a little abrasive at times, and that left some bitter taste in their mouth.
Okay, I see what you mean. Personally, I think the only times I was abrasive was when, no offense, Regan was involved in the conversation. We did not get along, and at times it made me really angry. But for the people that I was solidly aligned with, and for the people I thought could benefit me going forward, I definitely tried to have better conversations with them post-merge. Yeah, pre-merge, I never really give as much thought to pre-merge as I probably should, just because I feel like those are always like the practice rounds before the real game starts, if that makes sense. And I feel like some people feel the same way. I'm flailing.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I also want to say something else.
Please, God, say something.
Okay, I want to address the elephant in the room before the elephant gets here. So, Billy had a lot to say about you, Pippa, in particular, and how something, I don't know what, went down between you the night the night he went home. And I want you to explain in your own words what happened before he has the chance to interrupt you.
You know, I think that makes me tear up a little bit that you're going to give me that opportunity. So basically, here's what happened. Regan and I weren't getting along. And it came to a point where, and this was on both sides, I'm not going to put the blame on her. I would hope she doesn't put all the blame on me. It became personal. It wasn't just about the game anymore. It was about personal attacks. And I did not want to be around that toxicity in the game. I told Billy several times, how uncomfortable it was making, and that it wasn't about the game anymore. It was about standing up for a friend. And also, he would always say, oh, Regan's going to help our game, and I would just explain to him, well, that might be true on some level, but there are other levels that you don't see. And so the reason Billy and I fought was because I basically told him that if Regan like attacking me at PMs and us fighting constantly was happening to him or happening to a couple other people, Regan would have been gone the first round. And because it was happening to me, Billy didn't care enough. And that really hurt me. So that's why, even though I voted Drew in that round that Billy went home, I was okay with Billy going home because he wasn't listening to me. And I know that sounds like he wasn't listening to me, but he wasn't listening to the concerns that I had. Even though I get like people playing to further their own games, but I felt like he was taking it a step too far where he wasn't even taking into consideration the people around him at some points. and that's basically what went down that round. I felt like Billy wasn't taking into consideration what was happening to me and what the reasons why I wanted Regan gone, and he was only thinking about how it would benefit him and nobody else, which is okay, but there comes a point where it's not. So that's what happened in that round.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to apologize. I know I have a temper, and I know I need to control that. And I am really sorry because I was a total bitch. Like, I'm not gonna defend
That's okay.
Can we just get a clap for that?
Self-awareness is key.
At times, I was also a bitch back.
Hashtag growth.
I'm sorry that I blocked you, or I didn't block you. I unadded you that one time when we were fighting.
Yeah, well, I got one thing that just like bothered me about your game was just about the fact that like we were just talking about everything, and then like I said, like you said, I'm not gonna really promise anything. I said, I 100% do not trust you. And I said, great, that gives me more of a reason to vote you out. You said, I don't care anymore. I'm like, I want to be here. And yet, when I've been told y'all are voting Drew by literally everyone, and we have options for each Sarah or anyone, yet you're still going to vote me for what purpose? And, like, at that point, I wasn't attacking you. And then that's when you stopped. That's unadded me. Why I was very confused when you should have unadded me every other time, one time.
Why I unadded you was because that wasn't the first time we had fought. And there was definitely a pattern in the way that we fought, and I could sense that it was about to blow up into something that I just wasn't in the mood for it to blow up to. When I said I don't care anymore, I didn't mean I don't care about the game anymore. I meant that I don't care if you vote me anymore. Because there came a point where I knew that we would never be able to work together. And I told you this in PMs, that the reason I did not 100% trust you or would ever promise you anything was because time and time again you wouldn't trust us. Ever since the beginning, you wouldn't trust us.
It was especially you, and I feel bad because it was mostly you and Ricky. I just had a big issue trusting. Like, I had a huge issue trusting Ricky. I know Ned wouldn't trust Ricky for the life of him for, like, when I left.
I know.
Like, no, the round before, Ned messaged me, and he's like, are you sure about this alliance? He's like, Ricky's just not, he's like, I don't trust Ricky at all. And it was, like, the one thing he said over and over again.
Regan, wait. That whole thing about the night you went home, actually, when you went home, I was on the 4th hour of a 5-hour drive home from seeing Carson and Andrew. So I wasn't talking to you guys.
No, he didn't trust you the round Billy one.
Oh,
he didn't trust
yeah.
Ned did not trust you for a very long time.
I know. I knew that Ned was
Ned
never
didn't trust you the entire game.
Oh, wrong bag.
Because, like, time and time again, me and Ned had proved to each other that, like, we were not playing the same game and we didn't want the same outcome.
Yeah, I think the only person I know for a fact Ned was 100% loyal to me, and I think that was the only person he was completely loyal to. And I can say the same about money, but that's not the point. The point is you three. So Karen, I do want you to explain something to me. Like, I love you as a person, and I didn't expect you to spill strategy to me, but you said a lot of vague things. As in IDK, okay, yeah, whatever, something like that.
Okay, wait. Let me go through our PMs because I feel like I definitely didn't know a lot of the things.
You didn't know.
Okay. No, the thing is, I was like really vague because I was still like deciding like what I wanted to do, and I just like don't want to reveal, everything, like all my thoughts to you.
Wait, I have a question then to go off that. Karen.
Very, very, very vague, and I didn't. Ricky wasn't even that vague. He just lied to me.
Can I ask a question to Karen?
Yeah, that's how I am. Like,
well,
Karen,
did you actually? Because a lot of the time, like, you would do this to me too, and like other people would talk about it. How like a lot of the time people were under the impression that you like didn't have any information, and like no one would really ever go to you for info. So like, Was it you didn't actually know things, or were you just downplaying what you actually knew just so you could decide where to vote by the end?
It was half and half. I was like the people who I was close to, like they actually like told me stuff, like I knew stuff that was happening. But then like the more vague stuff or whatever, I was just hoping people would tell me stuff like as I was going on, like just to figure out like how to like place my votes and stuff, and like how each vote will go and stuff.
I can understand what Karen's saying, because like especially pre-merge when I was in, the rounds, like the votes wouldn't be like cemented until like literally 10 minutes before tribal.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand why she could be vague and not want to lie and back herself into a corner.
That's why people at the pre-merge would say like, oh, Karen's dead, like she's a dead fish, like she's not doing anything. And like I've been saying on the jury too, I'm just gonna commend that. I think you played really stop dying. I'm complimenting you. I think you played a good like middle line throughout the game between kind of I forgot what I was gonna say. But I just feel like you played a good line, a good UTR game through most of the game. And I think
and that's kind of like what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be good in like everyone's books and stuff. So Isaac's right, like I didn't want to like lie and then have them get mad at me or anything. You know? I think the only person I really did like dirty-ish was Drew. Because I did tell him that I was going to tell him if like he was going to get votes or if he was going to get voted out. But I didn't actually do it.
Drew has
there's one thing I've learned from this game. It's that you should never underestimate Karen.
True.
And it's wild.
Did I just hear?
Did you just hear what?
I feel like
never mind.
Ricky. For some reason, I underestimated him, even though Ned's like, no, Ricky's manipulator, don't trust him, and then I just underestimated him the entire game, and then look where he is now.
Wait, I have social things.
Daddy, I have to trust him.
Hold on. I have social things for Ricky, and I'm trying to figure out how to word it, but Ricky, I do think you played a good game in terms of the social aspects of like I feel like you were in mostly everyone's PMs getting information like you. I feel like, and I said this throughout the game, I feel like when me, you, and Isaac together, when it was me and you in the merge, I feel like we were the ones that garnered probably the most information. And I feel like you were very good at having all of the pieces and just trying to figure out where to place them so that it could help yourself. But there was one thing that I would talk about with other people, and there were multiple points in the game, and specific examples I could think of were Billy, Sam, Ned, and I think maybe Zach. And I want you to kind of try and explain this. Okay. But like people would come to me with concerns about you either not really listening to them or like maybe being too pushy with things. I'm that. Run, Ricky. Run away.
That's ironic.
People used to come to me
with those things.
Why are you running?
You, pre-merge.
Why are you running?
Me, curled hair, knowing no one heard what I said.
Okay, hi.
I heard what you said, but like
I heard everything from.
I didn't hear.
People went to you with concerns about what?
People would come to me with concerns just about your social games in terms of like, yeah, you were talking to them, but like you might have been like dismissive of things they wanted or kind of pushy with your agenda. So like I just wanted to give you the floor to clear air.
Yeah, and that's definitely like probably my biggest flaw in the game was being so transparent about the people that I didn't want to work with. Like I didn't ever talk to Eric. I didn't ever talk game with Drew. The things that I did say to Regan were mostly lies, and like, just being honest.
Regan talks.
I knew that. I knew he was the one behind my. He was the one. Well, I thought he was the one behind me being voted out. Then I was told what Pippa told Andrew, and then yeah. So I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, like
You
I-
basically told Andrew, like,
Regan's dumb, by the
I
way.
don't want to take 100%.
you.
Just kidding.
I don't
Andrew
wanna take
promised you
100%
that he would
credit,
vote me
but-
out.
Wait, what?
Basically, after Billy went, Andrew promised at the next round that he would vote me out for you.
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, no, yeah, that happened.
Ricky did too.
I
We
made
did
that
on a call with Pippa.
I made that promise.
No,
I don't know if that was like Pippa's move,
Everybody
or
did it.
her just like being against me.
I
No,
know.
it was literally Regan. You weren't supposed to go next, but Pippa came on a call with Ricky and I crying.
Yeah.
So like,
It was very much like she said, it turned personal, but like I don't think it was a personal attack. I think that for me, the reason that I made the move, even though I do think that right after Billy went, that was my best option to work with you. Like my best, like in this entire game, my best time to work with you was right after Billy went.
Although you know I was never letting you get even close to that end because
Yeah.
I think
But
because I had a choice. If I had a choice, it would have been Andrew, Zach, and Ned in the final three. I didn't want myself in the final three. I wanted to be fourth.
Fuck you, Regan.
I wanted Ned to win.
Not
Rude.
anyway,
Ricky, what were you saying?
I'm afraid we're taking away from Ricky's.
Yeah, what were
Yeah,
you saying,
we're
Ricky?
For me, it was more so not having, because everyone said this, you were the wild card of the game. No one ever knew exactly what you were thinking because you know you're Regan. So for me, it was, I'd rather have a solid number on my side with Pippa than have a wild card floating around. Not that I just saw you as a wild card, but I saw you as someone who could potentially, yeah, I saw you as somebody
But
who
it's
could
true,
potentially,
though.
The
Yeah.
devils that we know.
yeah, exactly.
Are we done social or like?
Yeah, does anybody have any final thoughts about
I got something to
Wait.
say.
Oh no.
Whoa, Isaac, calm.
Ricky, I want you to look me dead in the face.
You gotta
Okay.
turn on your camera for that one.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to give you more credit than you're giving or getting, because from what I saw, you were targeted on multiple occasions for being a huge threat, and through your like social connections and your ability to weasel out information, you were able to get here. And I just want to commend you for that, because that's something none of the rest of us on the jury were able to do. And that's what I wanted to say.
I would have.
Thank you. I do think that my social game wasn't as strong per se to people that I wasn't aligned with, but the alliances that I did have kept me in the game, aka Karen was a strong number.
It's true.
And also the bond that I had, a lot of it came about luck, because the bond that I had with Samantha, I think, kept me in the game on a personal level because it was my birthday, and also the legacy advantage that I got from Gabby, which
You looted from Gabby's court.
Gabby's going to give me the legacy advantage, kept me in the game, and I think that those were the social bonds that I don't think people saw. I think people saw me, and they saw me with Karen, and they saw me, but I also had a really strong bond strategically and personally with both Andrew and Isaac from day 2. Those are the 2 people that I wanted with me at the end. Sorry, Pippa, sorry, Karen, but
I figured.
I have a question.
That's who I wanted. Yes, Regan?
Zach, do you have anything to say? Because you haven't said a lot. Is Zach here to say anything?
Zach's just observing, taking notes.
I saw his mic go
I'm
off.
like listening because I wasn't super like connected with any of you. So like, and communication's a two-way street. So I'm not gonna be biased in my vote, but I'm more like concerned about the strategic part. So I'm waiting till then.
Okay, so let's get into that.
All right, that is a great segue, because the next part of the next out is outplay, and outplay covers all things that kind of I threw into the game and how you maneuvered through them. So that includes challenges, twists, advantages. There were many twists and many advantages, and general things about how you played the game and not necessarily other people, but yeah.
Can I speak?
Oh, yes. Go for
So,
it. Start us off.
Like Andrew said, I did come off as very passive, but if that translates into me not trying, I swear I tried my hardest, and I was worried about this game, and
It's
I had
true.
many confessionals, but Monty literally had to tell me to shut the fuck up, like at Final Four, because I was screaming so much. So I did care a whole lot about this game. I haven't had any fun. Like, aside from going to visit Andrew and Carson, I have not had like any social outings for the past 42 days. So
I'm still disgusted with the
Loser.
fact that you didn't really technically tell any of us that you're going to hang out with Andrew. I just saw it on Snap, and I'm like, okay.
well, I didn't want to be like,
You can see it on Snapchat. Why don't you just tell
you
people?
across the country and I'm gonna drive 5 hours to go see him. I didn't want that to be like a, you know.
Y'all, Ned is out there, and he was trying to clock Ricky for whatever he could.
Yeah, literally. Ned wanted me dead.
That is true.
Like, what do you mean? What? Explain.
Ned and me had a really odd relationship in this game.
Ned
We-
and I.
Ned and I had a really odd relationship in this game. We were never going to be allies, but we tried to keep it as civil as possible. Like, we talked a whole lot, and a lot of it was straight up lies, especially when it came to gameplay. But I did really enjoy getting to, because Ned is one of the only people, Ned along with Zach are two of the people who went farther, and I had never gotten the chance to play with before, so it was really nice, like, getting to know them on a personal level. But on a gameplay level, I knew that they were not going to fit into the plans that I wanted, which was Isaac and Andrew. And when that didn't work out, it was Karen and Pippa. And that's what happened.
I can't believe that Pippa was knockoff Isaac and Karen was knockoff Andrew.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
exactly.
you. I'm knockoff Isaac.
I've been there.
Karen's knockoff Isaac.
Every single one
Thank
of you
you.
were knockoff Isaac.
We literally replaced Isaac with Pippa a split second after it happened. I'm not Pippa. I love you so
It's
much,
fine.
but Ricky and I were having a mental breakdown.
God.
Okay. I want to just
Sorry, I just
know
had an
from a
itch.
strategy point, like, what was your, like, I know your reasoning in Andrew's vote off, but how did it happen? Like, all of you. I don't know how it happened because I wasn't there.
What?
Gonna be
Can I-
completely
can I-
honest, the only two votes I feel like I had no part in and like were absolutely powerless in were Andrew and Isaac.
Can I
So-
say something?
Yeah, Pippa, can you please explain?
Okay, Andrew, you're not gonna like this. Okay, but
Say it, bitch.
so I know that like you and Isaac and Ricky had like a deal or whatever,
Mhm.
but Isaac and I like wanted to work together at the beginning, kind of like we wanted to in Japan. And
Mhm.
so when Isaac was voted off, and you were like, or Ricky was like, we need Hawaii Ricky and whatever Andrew and Japan Pippa. I wrote this in a confessional. Japan Pippa wanted Andrew out from day one.
Oh, we know. Well,
It's
Pippa,
what it
can I
is.
ask you this
But
question?
here's the thing. So I knew. Well, ask your question, then maybe I'll.
I was gonna say, would you be 100% perfectly honest? Were you down for that final three with me and Ricky? Because after the night where we promised you that we'd vote out Regan, I was gonna be 100 with it and take you.
I was too.
Okay, honestly, you know how loyal I am. So if you had stayed,
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Man.
Hold on, let Pippa talk.
if you,
Let
Twinkie
Pippa
Christ
finish.
just joined.
okay, you know how loyal I am to people that I work super duper duper closely with. I probably would have stayed loyal to you, but to be honest, Andrew, I wanted you out very early in the game because, especially pre-merge, you didn't talk to me a whole lot, and I told you that.
Oh, I know. I wanted you
made
to
me
go
really
like pretty
uncomfortable
early
in the
too.
game, and
I thought I could have just
So,
ghosted you, and I thought
I-
Billy was gonna snap at some point and vote you out pre-merge, and I wouldn't have had to deal with you.
I had
I'm
a
sorry.
really- I was hoping they would do that too. No, to you. It's completely mutual. I had a long talk with Ned after the Regan vote off, and we discussed like a boot order that we would like. And I told him,
Bootless
hey,
gate.
you should vote out Andrew and blah blah blah. And we chatted about all that. And he remembered, even though you said people don't remember, he remembered that Dan gave you that idol.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
true.
I told Sam too.
He
So
was
the
constantly
round-
scared about that idol.
so the round that you got out, I knew you were going home, and I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to play your idol.
I knew he should play the idol. I literally said it on call.
Pippa.
Play this fucking idol.
I knew you were a possibility
Because-
of. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I knew you were a possibility of going home. I did not vote you because they didn't tell me for sure, but I was like, just in case, like, I almost, like a split second, I almost told you to play it. But then I was like, no, wait. I have a feeling this will work out if I just keep Andrew calm enough so he won't play his idol.
Also,
I mean, it was a full, like, I completely underestimated, like, I thought that I wanted to get Karen and Sam back working together again the next round. I completely underestimated that they were voting together again that early, so that was on me.
You
Yeah.
tried it.
Karen
All Sam
yeah,
had to do was
my-
flirt with me, and I was back in.
Karen didn't tell
My-
me either.
My goal that
Oh, yeah,
round was
no.
to keep you calm enough
I
so that you
wasn't-
wouldn't play your idol.
I wasn't gonna tell
Karen, was it like
Ricky
your
for sure.
plan? Was it like your plan about
I want to know
What
who's
I wanted to do, it was more, I want to say it was like together with me and Ned mostly. I really wanted Andrew out.
It's fair because
Because
I
I knew-
literally yelled
I
at
knew
Sam
how
and
close he
Diamond
was to Ricky, and I knew he would never take me to the end with Ricky.
Okay,
Oh,
wait,
we know.
Karen.
So I was
you
like,
told me
oh my
that
God,
in
get him out.
PMs, and I got really confused because you're like, me, you, Ricky, till the end, getting Andrew out, and I was like, how's that gonna work?
Yeah,
'Cause
I was.
Ricky and Andrew, they were thick as thieves, and
Okay.
so when you told me that, I was like, are you high?
I just
What's going on?
literally, when I say character development, it's me and Andrew, because if you knew the way that we played Hawaii, the way we played Midway, I think that the biggest benefit that I had was Andrew, because that was a relationship. Well, Isaac, you too, but like
Nope, fuck you. You already made your decision.
Isaac, you weren't there for 6
Yeah,
months.
exhale.
Is the fact.
the relationship I had with Isaac and Andrew, I feel wasn't as like public as in my head. That's all. Like, I think that if people could see it, they weren't letting it on very well. But I
I didn't see it at all.
think, yeah, me, Andrew, and Isaac were together, strong final three since like day 2,
It's true.
and
I
a lot
don't
of
wanna say it was obvious, but it was obvious.
And if I want to help explain anything of Ricky's game by extension, a lot of the alliance's moves were literally just like, we didn't care what we were doing. We were just advancing the three of us, which I commend for Ricky, because I felt like if you look at development through Hawaii and Midway, I feel like Ricky played like that in Hawaii and then was afraid to play like that in Midway and then did the damn thing again in this game, but like was proud of it. So
this time it's almost a full circle, because while I did have to make some very like hard personal decisions, aka I knew Billy was going home. I'm gonna be honest about
Yeah,
that.
and you guys didn't keep a very big secret about that.
No.
Like, I knew it was happening.
I knew Billy was going home. Regan going home sucked because we had just gotten onto a good page personally.
You're the one who like literally said, "Oh, we should get Billy out." We got
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Expose.
No.
Okay,
it
but
was
like
Ricky.
Billy's name had been going around
Yeah,
for
it had been
days
going on
prior.
for days, and it
No,
wasn't
but,
like it wasn't like a let's get Billy out just because we can. It was there's never going to be a good opportunity like this again. So when we
Billy's-
did have those other people, aka you, Ned, and I don't know if Zach voted Billy, but Zach.
close.
Zach
I
voted
was
for
this
Pip.
close to voting Pip out, and I feel like it would have been a better route for my game had I done that. because-
Regan, I would have stood by you.
Yeah,
I know.
and that's another. I feel like plays account to my social game, because if I got people like you and Ned who didn't trust me at all to vote with me and how I wanted and how like all like Andrew wanted too. Like obviously I'm never gonna take away from Andrew's game because he, but like that speaks to my social game and manipulation skills.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
And I don't want this to sound bitter or anything at all, because I've already kind of talked to the jury about how I'm not bitter at all, because it's whatever. But I just want to know from Ricky's POV, and I want you to explain this to me as if you and our games were swapped, and I was where you were and you were where I was, and I did that to you. Would you see it the same way that I'm looking at it from you? Or would you do the same thing that you've done in other games, like you keep bringing up Hawaii and Midway, even though they aren't this game?
They aren't.
Like you did in Midway, where you ignored my FTC for a personal view of how your elimination went.
Personally, I would take it like it was a gameplay move, because that's what it was. And yes, in Midway, you had gameplay, because I feel like that's where all this is all.
This isn't Midway. I don't want to talk about Midway.
The reason why
why'd you bring it up?
The reason why I have a problem
saying, Isaac, shut up,
with the way you played your games, and I think that it really shined through in this game, was that when you don't have that second factor, and you were only stuck with Sarah, you made moves that did not benefit your game. In other instances, you made great moves because you had somebody to bounce ideas off of. This time you did not, and that's why if you made the move, and you made the move like Regan said, it was my idea to say, let's take this opportunity and get out a huge threat. And I heard that from somebody else, that would be great. It would hurt, yes, because getting voted out sucks. I'm really sorry, because I know that it's not.
Oh, I don't care. I got voted out, whatever. But
I would view it as strictly gameplay, especially if I knew that I could give you the credit for it. Because
do you see why I'm asking this question, though?
Yes.
Do you understand why I don't 100% respect the way that it happened? And then that leads me into another thing where Pippa, I lost 100% game threat or game yes, I'm in the middle of something.
Fight her.
That was my parents. Sorry, Pippa. I lost a lot of respect for you that night because you went out of your way to make me feel not only bad for you on a game level, but on a personal level, by giving this long speech. And if you forget it, I have it screenshotted, so I won't let you forget it. Where you went above and beyond to make me feel like me wanting Regan to be in the game made you not only uncomfortable from a gameplay perspective, but from a personal perspective. And me being your friend meant that I shouldn't keep her around, even though all game you continuously wanted to keep people in the game that weren't good for my game personally, and you made it seem like I was being selfish by wanting to do those things. And then you turned around and you spit in my face by telling me that Regan had to go because she was making you uncomfortable, and she was making you sad, and she was making you cry, and she was making this, that, and the other thing, and how you didn't like her, and then you voted me out, and I was the only person to vote for Regan. Am I allowed
to explain myself?
I want to defend Pippa, because even as a competitor, I feel like this is getting very personal. Pippa did not submit her vote until 5 minutes before the votes were due. And she had no intentions of voting anyone except for Regan until me and Andrew called her for half an hour, explaining to her why this would be a strictly gameplay move. So if you're going to say all that stuff with Pippa happened before she even thought about voting anyone except for Regan. So
okay, I didn't know that. So
could I please explain myself without anybody interrupting me? Thank you. Okay, Billy.
As a hush falls over the room.
Everything that you just said, I've already.
I also love you as a person, Pippa, and I hope you know that.
I love you too. No interrupting. And I'm gonna be really sassy because I'm feeling that anger. Just build up. I'm shaking. I don't know if you can tell from my camera. I'm shaking.
It's a deep breath.
Yo, there's steam coming out of her ears. I don't know if you can see it.
I already explained myself to the jury, and Ricky, thank you for saying that because he's completely right. I was 100% going to vote Regan because everything I told you was true. And I also lost game respect for you because I get like why I already told you. We've talked about this on several occasions. This wasn't a one-time thing. I understood why you wanted to keep Regan, but you, to me personally, I felt like you weren't even going to listen to the reasons why I wanted Regan out. Even after our alliance had that talk where we were like, we need to listen to each other more.
God.
I just felt like you just didn't get it. And I told everybody this. If this had happened to you, or if that had happened to Ricky, or if that had happened to Andrew, Regan would have been gone faster than anything else. But it was happening to me. And it made me feel awful. And I just lost game respect for you because I get fighting for your own game. But there are points where you have to realize... There are points... Sorry. There are points when I feel like you have to realize that you have to like further your own game by aligning with people who will help you get there. And you would have had a solid thing going with me and with Andrew and with Ricky and with Isaac. And, well, Isaac wasn't there. Sorry.
No, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have, though.
I miss Isaac so much.
Can I add something really quick?
Yeah, I've got an opinion to throw in too when you got time.
Well, I just want to. This isn't like a question. This is just a statement. But like, well, I guess it's kind of a question. Can everyone who was on that alliance call about like the really bullshit sugarcoating, like let's all listen to each other? Can we all agree that call was a mistake?
It was bullshit.
That was such a mistake. It shouldn't have happened. None of us.
Honestly.
I mean,
I just wish that had people not wanted to work with me, they should have just said, I don't want to work with you. Like, they
okay,
shouldn't.
but
then that's social
suicide,
Billy.
Because, like, I don't think any of y'all understand. Can someone...
Who is echoing?
Andrew. Anyways. Okay.
What do you want from me? I don't have head...
It's not me.
I don't know. It's like the concept of public relations just flies over all of your heads. In order to keep your social game sound, that call had to happen, and you had to sugarcoat things, and you had to lie to your friends, because had you not, they would have taken any opportunity to cut your throat.
I felt that call was really...
I didn't think the call was that bad of an idea.
Even though it didn't, nothing happened, I feel like that call was pivotal, especially for my game, because I knew that when I got those 3 votes, when Isaac went home, that those people are going to go for me for the jugular. And if I didn't have people who were willing to not write my name down, I was not going to make it.
Wait, you got 3?
I honestly just got like, on that call, I was just like, everyone I felt was being, not to varying degrees, everyone was being kind of fake as fuck. And yeah, you have to lie to people, but there was a point where there were certain people that if you lied to them in this game and then you voted them out, it was ugly. So the fact that I just felt that some of the lying on that call was unnecessary. I felt that the call was unnecessary.
Okay, but you also have to...
But like, that call, it really like woke me up to like how close everyone else was and how outside I felt. Because even Ricky, like he said, he was like, can you guys like include Karen on plans and stuff? Because like, you guys like... I feel like
I openly admit I didn't talk to Karen all game.
I feel bad, Karen. That wasn't like a purposeful thing either. It was just like kind of like Sarah, how like Sarah never talks. You and I like never talk, so and you barely talked in the chat either.
Until
so like when Ricky was like, why don't we include Karen in all the plans? I was like, I didn't know that Karen wanted to be fully included in the plans.
Well, really didn't have any other like.
But I will make an effort.
I just
hated that we all like got forced into that group and we all hated each other.
Yeah.
Billy, I feel like you could put it best.
The thing is, y'all added me to that group, and I was like, I don't trust half these people. Like,
hello.
I knew Pippa, Sarah, Andrew, and Billy weren't going to take me to the end for sure.
I mean, Karen, we have a history where we just like never trust each other.
Yes.
Can we bring this back to the theme of Pippa? Can we bring this back to the theme of the outplay, which is maneuvering through tribe swaps, game twists, using advantages and
Monty
challenges.
just wants us
Can I
to talk
say
about
something
his
on that?
shitty
Play
ass
a round
Twitter.
table
Me
with
hears the
I-
word advantage and shudders.
Can I say something on that?
Yes.
I think there was a point, and I think I want to cushion a little bit for Ricky, Pippa, and Karen. I think there was a point where the game was so oversaturated with twists, advantages, and swaps that there were some things that were just very much out of control of the finalists. So I don't actually know how viable that is, but I know that if we knew that certain twists were coming, then we
That
could
one
prepare.
round where I got eliminated, that was like,
That was loud.
I could just feel it coming. Like I knew I was gonna get like eliminated. Because literally everyone had a fucking advantage, and I'm like, well, I have nothing because I wasted mine on fucking Regan.
God.
Not fucking Regan.
That was a waste, like, for a lot of reasons, but, like, you didn't need to use it. You just didn't really need to. It would have tied.
Okay. Listen,
you
do you know
burned my
what I
boat.
wanted to do? I wanted to gain others' trust. Like who was there? Billy, I think. I wanted
That
to
made
gain
me
others'
trust
trust,
Karen
and
a
I
lot more.
really wanted you out, Regan. I'm not gonna lie.
Regan, you were also like dead set going home until it was like
to me, you
JK,
were
she's
like
not.
volatile to my game. I'm sorry, but like
I was volatile to everyone's game. How am I able to take it to the end as a GOAT? I would have been the perfect GOAT, whatever.
Yeah, but you scare me.
Yeah,
Like I
the
don't
thing
think you realize how scary you are in games.
Yeah,
Regan.
you don't, because nobody ever knows what's going on inside your head, and if I don't know what's going on inside your head,
That's
what a mood. What a mood.
My head changes. Who I want out changes from second to second.
And I knew that I was not going to be immune from you throwing my name out, so getting rid of you.
There is one person I'm going to be loyal to all game, and that was Ned. And after that, I was just like, bye, I don't care about any of you.
Okay, at the end, kind of the same thing happened to me. If I could just talk my strategy just like a little bit at the end. So like probably just because I felt like I haven't gotten to do that a lot. We've kind of just been chatting like this is a reunion.
Ew, God.
We have. Okay.
Who won?
At the end, after like right before the Zach vote, probably, or like right after the Regan vote, I actually started talking with Ned a lot, and I like all those times that like you guys wanted Ned out, like I saw Ned as a number, and honestly, if Ricky's birthday wasn't on that tribal, I probably would have voted you out, Ricky. I'm not gonna lie, because my ideal final three was Ned, me, Zach. That was what I wanted my final three to be, which is why I advocated for Ned to be taken so far as he did. And the only reason I betrayed Ned in the end like I did, and it wasn't like it was like a backstab, like I told him I can't do this because we don't have the numbers, was because I knew definitely who Karen and Ricky were voting for, and I knew that Sam had already submitted my name because we weren't doing Tribal Live, and that was why I voted for Ned in the end. But if honestly, if Ricky's birthday hadn't been on that Tribal, I would have voted him out, because it was never my plan to take him or Karen to the end. No offense to you guys, but just because I knew that like once Andrew had gone, like, and I told you this before, Ricky, like you and Ricky were like, or you and Ricky and Ricky, no, Karen and Ricky
gotta have your own back, you know.
Karen and Ricky were a pair, and Sam and Ned were a pair, and I was just in the middle, and I just knew that Karen and Ricky were more dangerous, and no offense, Karen, but I never trusted you, and I always asked Ricky after every vote, like before every vote, I was always like, Ricky, are you positive Karen is voting the way that you say? Are you positive?
Ricky wasn't even positive.
You were gonna
straight up lie to you.
I really did not know what Karen was gonna do. But Pippa, speaking on that, I want you to know that literally the second I told you about my second idol, you were locked in and you were part of my final three equation, more so than Karen ever was. Sorry, Karen.
But
I'm
I
You,
don't want to
part
like.
2.
I don't want to make it seem like I was like never with you because I know that you telling me about your second idol was a big deal, but I also knew that like you've played like a good game, and I wanted to trust you so much and take you to the end, but at the same time like I always had that inkling that like I was just cannon fodder and I wasn't really part of like the dream team. You know what I mean?
I wasn't part of it, Pippa. It's okay.
You were
Shit didn't
at
sound
Final
shit.
6. You were my one, and when I said that you were my one, you were my one. But also going back to the thing with twists, I think that I dealt with the twists better than the other two, and I just want to like give a really good example of that. The QWOP challenge that I won by head and shoulders won, and I
didn't do it, I'm pretty sure.
And I was gonna do that round. I got myself disqualified so that I could go into the war zone and help them because I knew that they were going to need help. And I was so willing to play this game that I disqualified myself from an immunity.
Which
the day that we got rid of the time we got rid of Drew the first time.
Oh, the QWOP
The
or whatever.
The QWOP, which I'm really good at. Which I'm really good at.
We know, bitch.
I got myself disqualified.
Did you? Yeah, I gave Pippa a merry-go-round idol, and I was like, Pippa, go into the war zone with
because
this. And Pippa was like, okay, I won.
I only got like
you got like
16 or something. I got like 6, and I was like, wow, everybody's gonna like
like whoop your ass.
And then I won, and I was like, this is terrible.
I remember me and you were sitting on the tribe, and we were like, how did this even happen?
Yeah, because that. I mean, the idol was supposed to be in the war zone. That was the whole point of me.
Because it was like, do we give it to Pippa or do we give it to Sarah? And one of them will go into the war zone, and Pippa was like, I'll do it.
Because I'm like, unless it's like Wings Over Water or something that I can really get into.
Never say that game again.
I'm terrible at most Flash games, and I knew that everybody was going to score higher than me, and then nobody submitted.
I'm making you know what happened, though? For, like, I'm pretty sure I was working that night, and that's why I didn't submit.
I've been saying, can I say something?
Oh,
for the past 10 minutes, and I realized I was on mute. So
real quick, Regan has left, but she says she respects you all, and she just wants to go to bed. So continue.
Oh,
okay.
Regan being a modest juror, I'm shook.
I apologize for mistake.
I want to say that it takes a good person to guide themselves through the game with all these twists, and it takes an even better person to help other people get through these like games like this. There were multiple times when I, as like a person and as a strategist, was not able to cope with the oversaturation of twists. And I want to say that Ricky and Pippa both, at times, whenever I personally felt like there was no hope, they would put themselves in harm's way to help me and themselves. But whatever, I digress. So just like the QWOP thing, when Ricky came in because I was freaking out and I kept running the numbers and I knew there was no way Drew would go home. And when the auto-elim challenges were posted and I thought about quitting, both of them consoled me. So kudos to you two.
Girl, I
Isaac
consoled you too. Don't even.
Honest to God, Isaac.
This is about you, really. This is about me, Karen, and Pippa.
Your vote was the hardest thing that like happened to me in this game. Like that just that was the.
It was the rudest thing.
Everybody is like, oh, these twists really threw me for a loop. I just saw the twist as something I had to overcome, but your vote out was something that really threw me for a loop. It was, I mean, it completely turned my game upside down, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Rude.
And I never intended for what to happen. Like, I, honest to God, did not know about it.
Did anybody even know he had that sapphire idol?
I tried that idol. Too.
Zach said that I was the first one who
Monty said I
knew.
couldn't give it to you.
Andrew told me and Isaac.
Yeah, sorry, Zach. I told them right when you told me.
No, I'm not shocked.
Also, another thing like has to do with twists. The round that Dan went home, Isaac got that idol from me. I gave him the idol that I got in my jar. So the times that I said I had nothing, I got like 2 idols.
Oh,
that's nice. I didn't get anything.
if I had to like pick one strategic thing, and nobody else has to be proud of me because I'm proud enough for myself. How I just finessed that other half of the idol from Sarah, and then
You did
never
that.
let
Okay.
her have it back.
That's
I
what I
told
was
Sarah to give
wondering.
you
I
that.
was like, how did she even get the other half?
Well, because that one round when Sarah was absolutely dead and we really wanted to use it, we never did. I was like, oh my god, like, Sarah, please, please, please give me your idol, your other half. And I asked her for days. And when I finally got it, I decided, like, I'm just going to save this for myself and not use it. And I never even, like, gave an inkling that I was going to give it back or that I was going to help her with it in any way. And I don't really
You're
feel
evil.
bad, but, like,
Thank
I was
God
pretty
Sarah
proud of
was
myself
asleep.
when she finally gave it to me. I was like, yes.
It's because we
Give me
thought you were
that.
going home.
Yeah.
Give me that other
And you
half
did
of that
play it
idol.
right, so
She didn't give it to me before that tribal.
I did.
The one that
That Regan was the double tribal?
the one
The
that
double
we thought I
tribal.
was gonna
The one
go
where
home,
Karen
remember?
and Sam went home. Sorry. The one
Me
that
and Sarah.
went home.
Can I apologize? By the way, I'm just gonna apologize in advance, Tricky and Pippa. But I feel like the one time I did both of y'all dirty was I was on some other type of level when I was forcing Sam to play that diamond idol, and like I low key got bloodthirsty for a second, and was like, what if I get everyone in the game to flush all of the items? So I'm the only one with an item, and it bit me in the ass the next round because it got voted out. But I definitely got you two to flush your idols.
For me.
I definitely got you two to flush your idols, and after.
I was honestly, I can see where you would take credit for that because I mean I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, but I honestly wanted that idol gone.
You were playing it anyway, but Ricky wasn't going to play his idol until I was like,
play my idol. I hate having idols, and that's why in most games I never search for them.
Andrew got me to play 2 of them, so good for him.
Sam told me that she was gonna. I confronted Sam and I was like, "Is your diamond idol? Like, do you really have a diamond idol?" Billy told everyone. Sorry, Billy.
I didn't tell everybody. I told Andrew, and Andrew told
And then
everybody.
I told
So don't even.
Okay, wait. When was this revealed? Because I don't remember ever hearing about this, but everyone knew about it, and I'm like,
because Andrew was my number one. Because
We didn't
Andrew was
tell
my
you.
number
What?
one, but Andrew hated me.
But I went to Sam and I was like, "Do you really have a diamond idol?" And she was like, "Yeah, I might as well get rid of it." And then she got really mad and she was like, "Ned's telling me to play it and I don't want to." I was like, "Okay, well if you do, then don't vote me out." And she was like, "Okay."
Well,
she was like,
playing it to save herself.
"Yeah, which she did." Like, so.
Well, I told her that if she didn't play it, then there would be a revote for the second person to go out between me, her, and Karen, which was true. And I didn't trust people keeping me or her. I was like, you and I have to get through this tribal safely, so just take out Karen and Sarah, and it'll benefit you later.
I have a question.
But did it really benefit him?
No.
Pippa, you're not a jerk.
I have a question for Monty and for everybody else. Does anybody else have anything to say, or can we move on?
Yeah, can we move on to the last phase?
Because it's almost midnight, and I'm tired.
All right.
Oh, poor Pippa.
The last out is Outlast, and Outlast has to do with the defending the choices that you have of the people that you put on the jury to get them to vote for you in this tribal council. So
should we just go one at a time, kids?
Karen can go first.
All three at the same time. Fuck y'all.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Rigor Morris. Okay.
Why don't you just do each person at a time, like all 3, and then you move on to the next person? So that way nobody's going for a second or less.
So are we talking about Isaac first?
Okay, yeah, Karen, you go, and then Ricky can go, and then I can
Y'all are going through every jury member?
Okay, wait. About Isaac?
Yeah,
I didn't vote Isaac.
I had no
I didn't
part
know
of-
Isaac was going that round. Okay.
going either.
That's the tea.
Okay, me either.
And
So
no,
there's one.
and that literally, Isaac's vote off was literally the worst thing that happened to me because he was the only person I 100% trusted. And then after that, I was like, well, I have no one now.
All 3 of you trusted me. Oh God, my social game.
honest?
She's a queen.
And I was like, over it.
Being honest, I think the best thing to happen to my game was Andrew and Isaac leaving, because I do think that they would have beaten me in a final. And I love you guys, and I would have let that happen. But after you guys win, it was game on, and all I could focus on was winning, winning, winning. So I pulled every string that I could. I got Zach out, got Ned out, got Sam out, and I got to where I am.
Mhm. So did I, sis.
Proud mom.
So, like, same thing as Karen for Isaac. Like, I trusted Isaac 100%. I had no clue he was going through my entire game through a shitstorm, and I, like, everything I did, and sometimes we'd say this, like, in our little, like, chat, we'd be like, we have to do this for Isaac. And in my mind,
Yeah,
I'd be
the chat was
we
literally.
have to do this for Isaac.
It was literally named The Vengeance of
Isaac.
Yeah, we were all about avenging you. And then for, like, the Billy vote, like, just like Ricky said, I didn't really vote the way that I voted until 5 minutes before, because I tried to be as loyal to you as I could, and just after the chat that I had with Ricky and Andrew, I just, like, I had to give in to my own ambitions, and I just had to go for it. Like, I didn't vote for you. I voted for Drew. I know Regan told you that, and that's true. I didn't vote for you.
Regan didn't tell me that you voted for me.
Oh, really?
I didn't ever think that you voted for me.
I voted for
Regan,
Billy.
No, Regan told you
I
that
voted for Billy.
I voted for Drew too, but I knew. But it was
Sam, Ned, Ricky, and Karen.
Yeah.
No, but I was trying to say that I know that
I wanted Billy gone because he was close with Sarah, but he was also close with literally everyone in that big ass alliance.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
so not true.
that's
Also,
but
the
that's what
argument-
I perceived. Like, you weren't close to me, so why would I keep you?
No, I get that, because you and I didn't talk at all.
And then for Andrew, you, like, I tried to be as loyal to you as I could, and I'm sorry that I didn't tell you to play your idol when
It's okay.
I very well could have. But I just saw you going out as a
God, my
way that
sister's
I
going
could
off.
get a little bit farther than where I was at. Because
Do you hear it?
I can hear it. Because if you had made it to finale, there was a 100% likely
You
chance
were winning.
that you were gonna win. I mean,
Without a doubt.
yeah. And then, oh my god, I thought that was Ned for a second. I got
Wait.
really excited.
Can I talk about Andrew Zalim? Shit.
Wait,
Karen, talk about my-
Okay, just kidding. Okay, no, you go because you need to leave anyway.
No, okay, no, you can go on. I thought we were just going through everybody because you
Yeah,
guys
but
didn't
I didn't
go
talk
to the
to
time
anyone.
anymore.
But I didn't talk about anyone.
yeah.
Y'all
Well,
talk about
Isaac and Billy.
That's true.
Pippa, you just
Okay.
erased 4 members.
Ricky hasn't talked about anyone.
Yeah, you've
Just
skipped
go.
like literally every.
She like moves on before we can even say anything.
Okay, listen. Once you get me going, I can't stop. So I'm gonna shut my mouth. Go.
Okay, Ricky, do it.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Like I said, I had no idea that Isaac was going. I think that it was a big factor of why I'm sitting here, because I think that the block of me, Andrew, and Isaac would have become much too big of a target. So I'm sorry that Isaac had to go. And it was really hard, but I think it was beneficial for me in a way. Drew leaving was, I mean, everyone wanted Drew gone. So it was essentially a matter of time. I think that it was smart to get him out then because, oh yeah, Eric. Sorry, Eric.
I'm everyone forgetting Eric, like all three of you.
Eric.
We weren't there yet.
That's fine. I'm in the jury.
Eric was
I forget
eliminated
Eric.
after
Yeah,
Isaac.
Isaac. I
I
didn't talk
wasn't
to Eric
going
at
in
all.
order. Who goes in order?
I didn't
That's
talk.
what-
I didn't talk to Eric at all. That was my bad. That was one of the biggest issues that I had, was that I'm assuming that every single time Eric assumed that I was voting for him, and that was pretty true. So
Now, I will just say about Eric, I literally had a 45-minute long pep talk in PMs with Eric where I was just like, it doesn't matter if you think everyone's voting for you. Like, this is a social game. You have to talk to people. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to go talk to people. And then I checked up on him the next morning and I was like, did you talk to any of them? And he
I
was like,
talked to Eric. But when I talked to Eric, it wasn't strategic at all. We literally talked about gymnastics.
Yes, me too.
Every time I talked to Eric, he'd come to me after an elimination and say like, oh, I think the one time I talked to Eric, he was like, you know that we have to break the friendship between Ricky, Andrew, and then I forget who else he named off.
I think
but it
Karen was
somebody
in
not,
that.
It was somebody not even on the spectrum. And then I was like, you're
was probably
totally
me then.
right. I said, you're totally right. And then we never talked again.
He thought that the group, I think he thought the group was like me, Ricky, Karen, and Sam. That was the group. He thought that was like the 4.
No, he thought not Sam, it was Sarah. He told me Sarah. 'Cause I
Sarah?
was like,
No, I'm pretty sure it was Sarah. Yeah.
Love Sarah.
I love you,
Sarah was a
but Sarah?
mastermind. I love Sarah.
I hope Sarah wins this game.
Me too.
Y'all did Sarah dirty.
Sarah did herself dirty with that boy. Never
Sarah,
mind.
Anyway, Eric Salim was sad, but like at the same time, he
But, like, it
was
was necessary
close
because,
with
like-
Ned. Like taking Ned's people out was also like really big. Because I didn't even think about it, but like shipwreck people, sis, they were dangerous.
We're the devil.
really dangerous. 2 of them got to final 6.
Especially especially the reason why I didn't want Ned in the final.
But
Sarah,
Eric leaving was it was Regan and Eric due to that twist, right? And Eric leaving was more beneficial to my game because I didn't have any play with Eric, and I did talk to Regan the very next round, and I got her to do what I wanted. So
for me, for the vote out for Sarah, to me, it wasn't some like masterful like mind game or anything. I purely went after Sarah, and when we were talking about like who to vote, I said like, oh, we should just vote Sarah, because I knew that Karen was probably gonna leave too, and I knew that Karen could beat Sarah in whatever was happening. So I was just like, well, I know I wanted Karen to come back. I wanted you to come back, Karen. So why not just throw her in with somebody who has a track record of not being present in this game? So that's why I voted you out, Sarah.
That really saved me, TH.
Because I knew that Karen could beat you, and I'm really sorry, and I love you, but you just weren't here.
yeah,
It was. I
another
never.
Yeah,
thought
Sarah
that
not being here is like
for,
literally the reason why she got a win.
like that you.
Is Sarah even on this FTC call?
No, but she might be watching.
But I said this. I made a group chat the second that I figured out I was like, I didn't know what the fucking twist was, but I knew that 2 people were going home, and I thought that we could all double vote, but we couldn't. But the second that I found out that we couldn't, I made a group chat that included me, Pippa, Andrew, and Sarah, and I went to Andrew and Pippa. I went to Andrew and Pippa, and I told them, this is not to save Sarah. This is so that we have Sarah's vote. And I'm so sorry, Sarah, but like,
Sarah, I'll have you know that
I
I
just-
almost typed into the chat, so the vote is Sam and Sarah, and I almost revealed it to you on accident.
I voted for Sarah
Yeah, damn.
literally just to save myself.
Y'all, I gotta go to bed soon. Can we move on?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, continue. Next person, go.
I think that was it.
Andrew.
I think we hit
Well,
everybody.
we have Andrew, Ned, and Sam.
Oh yeah,
And
I
Zach.
Andrew.
love
Can I talk
dirty
about
erasure.
Andrew's vote?
Oh, true.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, Andrew's vote, I feel like, was definitely
I'm
one
going
of
to
my
bed. Good
best-
luck, guys. Good night.
best moves.
Yeah,
Bye,
go
Billy. I
on.
love you. Ew. Anyway, yeah, Andrew's vote was definitely like one of my better moves because I didn't. For
only-
one, I didn't tell Ricky because I knew he was gonna leak to Andrew, and like Ricky and Andrew were like, to me, like
Andrew was my person.
literally, yeah. There you go. I wasn't your person. He was.
Sorry,
And I was
sweaty.
like, well, I need to take
I
him out.
literally almost beat Karen's ass like the second Andrew
No,
left.
and the thing is, I thought I was like Ricky's number 1 for the longest time. And then like I think Ned was telling me about the votes before, like when I got limped, and I was like, yeah, Ricky's just trying to save himself and Andrew, and he doesn't give a shit about me. And like
See?
I still wanted Ricky at the end, obviously.
Because of
'cause
my
he was the-
social game.
No, he was the only person I made a final 2 deal with.
And it wasn't even like some kind of blood pact. She just goes final 2, and I'm like, okay.
Literally.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Um,
Andrew already
But Andrew was gonna get in the way of that, and that's why I needed him gone immediately. Not immediately, but you know.
I loved being the devil
Exactly.
that was in everyone's way except for Ricky.
I didn't vote you though, Andrew.
Character
I
development.
voted.
But you let me die, Pippa.
Yeah, but I forget who I voted.
you
for.
had
I was
the
like,
tools to save him.
Ricky,
yo,
shut up.
it was like I
Yeah,
stabbed
well, I made
Andrew.
a good game move.
I stabbed Andrew in the
I
back, and Pippa was there with the first aid kit,
And she
She
just
was
looked
just standing there.
Oh, I was
She was
crying
like-
over Andrew's dead body.
She was just shrugging.
Ricky, I've got a question.
Yes, Isaac?
Okay, so assuming, just like play it back. This is a what if scenario. If me, you, and Andrew all made FTC, assuming we've played our best games, who wins?
Assuming that we screw over every single jury member, and I
Yeah.
still have the social game that I have, I say that Andrew wins specifically because of strategic reasons and because he has that nice balance of social and strategic. I get
You
second
tried it. I would never vote for Andrew.
because I have the social connections that I did,
So.
like with Karen and with Sam. And I'm sorry, Isaac, but like I assume that you get last just because there's something about you that people don't respect. And they really should.
Yeah, you're really not doing yourself any favors, are you?
It's because he's from Tennessee.
It's
What?
because I'm a
I'm
minor.
being honest. I'm being honest.
Because I'm gay.
Yeehaw!
I think that if
It's
Andrew was
homophobia.
to me, because Andrew played such a much more vocal game than I did, aka fighting every single person, and
Mhm.
still being able to bounce
Remember
back.
when me and Andrew clocked each other?
Remember when I drove over Karen's body with a
Okay,
truck
next
and you were
juror.
complaining?
Okay, next was who? Ned? Zach.
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 Zachy. I love you.
voted you out because I was trying to keep Ned safe, and he was like, let's just vote Karen, and I was like, I can't betray them, not yet. So like literally,
Not ever,
I kid you
apparently.
not, 10:57 and like 30 seconds, I was like, let's just vote Zach. Yeah, let's just do that. And then
That's true.
No,
wait, no, not to you guys,
That
To
whole
Ned.
time,
I told
I wanted
no,
Ned
I told
gone.
Ned that. I told Ned like 3 minutes before tribal. I was like, just vote Zach. That's basically what I said. But they had already figured that out.
I had gone to Karen and I had gone to Sam, and I was like, if you guys don't want to vote each other and you guys don't want to vote Ned, because Pippa was immune, I was like, then you can vote Zach.
I was advocating for Ned so hard to get eliminated.
But
Because he was like really close. He was close with Sam and with Pippa.
like,
And they literally didn't want to vote him. I'm like, well, guess I'll vote Zach. And Zach was really close with Ned too.
my
From, like,
biggest issue is
what I
that I
saw.
didn't
So.
want to tie. So I went and I put in the work to get Sam to vote Zach. Because I thought it was going to tie. I thought Sam, Zach, and Ned were going to tie it against me or Karen and send us to rocks because they're demonic, but they didn't do it. Because I went to Sam and I was like, if you want to save yourself and you want to vote Ned, then you'll vote Zach.
Bless you.
Hey.
Thanks. I almost didn't tell Ned about it, but I would have lost that connection if I wouldn't have told him, and I took the chance, and it actually worked out. So.
And Ned going home was just essentially a lot of their game.
Pure happiness.
Sam's Ned's game caught up to them. Andrew, can you mute again?
Yes.
I think that it was Sam and Ned's game catching up to them because they essentially were each other's
Final two.
Yeah, they were each other's final two, and it was so
Literally every time I even mentioned voting out Ned, Sam would be like, "Can we do someone else?" Or like she can't do. She told me, she was like, "Yeah, I can't vote Ned. I'll just vote for like Pippa or something for like Ned's vote." And I was like, "Okay, whatever. Like I still have majority. It's fine."
Yeah, I think that.
But I wanted Ned gone for like the past few rounds, just because the shipwreck people, obviously, and like he was a lot closer to Pippa and Sam than he was to me. And he told me he was gonna take me to Final Tribal, and I'm like, sure, Sid.
He was like, I want to go to Final FTC with you. I was like, that sounds nice. And then I had to vote him out because I don't think that anyone was gonna win over any of the shipwreck people.
Yeah.
No.
Because they had such a good story, and Ned played.
He did.
And I'm not
without doubt. And then Samantha Bussey. Samantha Bussey is like impossible to play with.
Downplayed.
Love her to death.
She probably played the best game. She had so many connections. she was never a target until I made her a target, and I said, until that Diamond Idol made her a target, essentially. But she played a very Allison-esque game, and I only say that because when I think of Allison playing, I think of playing the middle, and she played the middle really well, and it got her all the way to Final 3, but
4.
the one thing, Final 4. The one thing that did her in was her refusal to get rid of Ned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, since the beginning, like, sorry, I'm getting ready for bed so I can just, like, get in there. Since the literal beginning of the game, like, I always knew that you and Ned were a package deal. And, like, I know that every time we ever talked about a vote doing it together, somebody would always be like, well, Sam has Ned. And so when we got closer to the end, I was like, well, Sam has Ned.
And, like, the thing is, like, Sam would tell me that she, like, didn't fully trust Ned. And I'm like, well, fucking vote him out then. Like,
and she wouldn't refuse.
Like, to me, it didn't make sense that she knew I was up her ass. And she literally didn't listen to me. It drove me nuts.
Sam, I told you, we had a talk before.
Sam's not on Tribal.
What?
Sam's not here.
I know, but just in case she's listening.
If you're listening, Sam, I love you.
Yeah, if you're listening, Sam, I love you. But I told Sam, like, before that last Tribal, we talked about it. And she was like, yeah, probably voting, like, you or Ricky. And I was like, well, Ricky's immune. And she's like, well. And I was like, that's okay, I'm voting you too. And my most concern was that Karen was going to do some freaky shit. And she was going to force fire making. And I was like,
I wasn't going to win against Sam.
Because I wouldn't have
I wasn't going to take her.
I wouldn't have won against Sam. Like,
I
that
think
was.
you should ask if they have the jury, Zach or Andrew. Hello, if you have any more questions.
I don't know. I'm good.
I'm turning on my TV. I'm getting ready for bed.
Put on the Olympics.
I always fall asleep to Friends, and then I wake up to George Lopez and I cry.
Okay, Karen, Pippa, do you guys have anything else to say?
Yeah.
Closing statements.
Yes, quick.
Thank you for listening to our gameplay, and I had a great time talking with all of you, and I know that everybody's basically made their decision by now because everybody's, like, died, but I had a great game with you guys, and I just hope you vote for somebody you believe has been the better survivor. Okay.
The sole survivor.
Karen?
Okay. I just want to thank the jury for an iconic game. Loved playing with all of them. Loved playing them. Like, thank you for listening to my explanations for certain things. Obviously, like Pippa said, I hope y'all vote for what you think is right. What you think a sole survivor is. Better be me. Or else the block button is getting put into good use.
I think we're all survivors.
I think we're all good.
Bye.
Thanks, jury, for listening. For the people who were here, thank you. And I hope that you guys make informed and honest decisions on who you think played this game the best.
Dishonest.
And who you really think should win this game.
Can I go?
All right. With
also,
that,
I love Monty.
Love you guys. So with that, the final tribal council for Survivor Open Ocean is complete. Jurors, please have your votes in by 11 p.m. tomorrow, and they will be read. Once they're all in, they will be read. But if they're not all in by then, whoever has not voted probably will be removed from the jury. So make sure you get your ass on to vote.
That's at Sarah.
And I saw a couple people. And yeah, thank you all for playing. I've had a good time hosting. Thank you for sticking here through all of my bullshit. And Thank you all for making this a fun and exciting game. Good luck to the three of you. I think this is a very good final three, a very representative final three of the season and the series. So I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of everyone who played. Thank you.
I made
Sure
final
to
three,
vote.
bitches.
Me too.
Good night, and I will see you tomorrow.
See you in Los Angeles.